It's the flip man. You want some money in your hand? Flipping houses without credit or your cash. Get that bag.
Good afternoon, good morning, depending on where you are. We're back for our Saturdays Flipping Land 101. Guess is the title that we're going with right now. We got Kyle and Daniel here today from Hive Mind. These are my guys. I've learned so much in these. I think it's been 3 weeks. This will be number 4. The 4th week we've done it in a row. Hopefully you guys are learning things also. You can pile in actual questions. We're going to evaluate a few properties that actually came, as we were talking the other day, Kyle, came through the AI cold calling or whatever.
Nice.
So it was more, but those are the ones I could pick out really quick. That's what was taking me so long. Or whatever. So I was gonna go to the gym. I said I ain't gonna have enough time to do all that. So I'll have to do that later on. So anyway, so we're here. So we have a little easy title. What makes a land deal great? And I know that's a broad question with a broad answer. You know what you're targeting. You know, we can go on and on. But so with that being said, guys, if you can just give a little insight on just who you are. It might be a first timer for some people, so just a little snippet. If you need to know more, you can go back and watch the other ones.
So my name is Daniel. I am one of the creators of Hive Mind. I've been doing land for 6 years. I locked up a couple houses and they fell through, and I've been doing land ever since. So I am a land expert, and I've been doing this for a very long time.
Boom.
Yeah, I'm Kyle. I just started working with the Hive about 6 months ago, but I was very avid and very active in the house game last year. Wholesaled over 25 houses last year. Moved into land and dropped everything after learning about bigger parcels.
Boom. All right. So just real quick, guys, we'll just hit the topic off the top, and then we'll evaluate some of the stuff I got here, and then if people got questions, we can move forward from there. We've been getting a good response on these, you know, as far as the replays, you know, after. So just to go into the little topic here, what makes a land deal great?
So I think we're making a graphic on this. We came in the car talking about this last night. So first thing we look for, and then Kyle will probably jump into, but first thing I think we look for is price per acre. There's a lot of varying prices per land, and it's really dependent on the end user. So you can buy 1 acre, and it could be worth $10K to us, but to a McDonald's or some type of chain, it might be worth $500,000. So it really depends on what the end user is. So a lot of these land owners, they have this delusional thought, not necessarily as bad delusion, but it's a partial delusional thought that $500,000 guy is going to come across, and they might wait 50 years for that to happen. And most of the time they might need to sell for other reasons. So generally we're the guys that come across and like, hey, we'll buy anything. It just has to make sense for us at our numbers. So price breaker is usually the first thing, and then frontage, location to the nearest city, and then utilities if it has it, and flood zone.
Okay. I think you spoke on the McDonald's coming in. I think that's the hope that a lot of landowners look for. It's like the speculation of all speculation is with land. Yeah. And the path of progress or whatever. But go ahead, Kyle. I just.
Oh no, you're good. I was just going to say a lot of landowners try to base their property on future zoning, future value, but in reality they don't understand that there's a process to it. Like Daniel said, it could be 1 acre, but you might have to apply for a variance. You might have to do multiple things to create that value. But owners, a lot of landowners, a lot of sellers, and a lot of agents think that you can just automatically get that value already based on not doing anything. But that's us as the investors know that there's a process to it, there's capital to it, there's a lot of nuances to trying to get something like that done.
Yep. Okay. All right. Okay, so as far as what someone should target, like I know you'll if it makes sense you'll do it, but like if you're going to do your targeting versus someone else, and I guess it depends on what type of profit margin you're looking for, the turnaround time, all of that'll factor in too, as far as the types of property you should target, because I think the biggest difference I think we mentioned the last week as far as speed of land comparing to houses, it's well, and again you might correct me, but with houses you can have repeat buyers just by over and over and over again. Just minutes you can send them if it fits into their buy box. But land is not so much like that. If you could just give an idea on the title is what makes a land deal great, but it also goes into what are you targeting? Are you doing infill lots, 1 to 5 acres? You're looking to do subdivides depending on what the restrictions are. If you can just go into that a little bit.
It's a wide variety of things. I like to look at it almost like the donut method. So if you're looking at a major city, you kind of want to circle around a large donut on that city. And that's where we're looking, right? Because we're kind of looking outside the city limits where people aren't going to try to tax you on that property's future value or future usage. We're kind of looking for stuff that's in the county, like Daniel touched on, good frontage. And mainly what we do is just subdivide farm and ranch land into 10-acre lots. But we're doing a wide variety of things. We'll buy a 1-acre parcel or 2-acre parcel for 50 cents on the dollar and just relist it. Like we just did that and closed on one 10 days ago and just accepted a full price cash offer this morning. So, and that's going to be a 45-day total turnaround time. So we're doing a wide variety of things. There's a lot of different finer details that makes a land deal good. But mainly what we're doing is 10-acre subdivides. You want to touch more on that, Daniel?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the main thing is the smaller the property, the less you can value at it. The bigger the property, the more you can create value pretty easily, and I think that's what we're learning. So I think like 5 acres or less, you're really gonna have to get a good price, and that's it. That's all you can monetize it with. And generally, it's stuff 10, 15 acres or more. You have the ability to subdivide, and that's where you can kind of create that value. So you gotta understand what your exit strategy based off the size that it is and the price that they're asking for. So we weigh all that into our underwriting whenever we do look at different types of deals based off of the price.
And typically, the higher price that you go, the easier the negotiation comes. Because let's say you need, like I talked about, you need a 1-acre lot for 50. It's worth 100, and they're asking 90. Well, it's hard to get on that price point. It's hard to get a $40,000 price reduction, but on $1 million ranch, it's a lot easier to get a $100,000 or $200,000 price reduction because it's just a larger scale of capital.
Okay, all right. Got a couple of questions in here. Let me see.
I can show screen if you want on the little one.
Yeah.
This is the one we're working right now. So we just bought this August 23rd. It's a 2-acre lot and a 1-acre lot. And we bought it for $100,000. We double closed on the 1-acre lot for $75,000, and then the 2-acre lot we just accepted an offer today for $128,000. So there's a really good margin on that since we bought for $100,000 and potentially selling for $200,000 plus. So it's a good triple-digit flip on a little small parcel here in Florida. So it gives you the ability to create a lot of value just on finding good price arbitrage.
Okay. We never went to go take photos of these. Like realistically, we didn't do anything to just like. All we did was we reached out to agents and found some buyers based on people that just have clients. And this is just vacant raw land, no utility hookups, nothing. So it just shows you the nature of the game.
That's a small land game.
Yeah.
But that one, like I said, we picked it up August 23rd, and it's been 2 weeks since we bought it. But we have a 30-day close on the other part, so it should be like a 6-week turnaround to make $100,000.
So those were listed properties?
This one came from a wholesaler. One came from a wholesaler that
off of Twitter.
off Twitter, off Daniel's Twitter, and seller was going through probate. I think lived out of state, and it was just a great deal. Great deal.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow. Okay. All right. Cool. All right. Real couple questions. Somebody said, "Why can't I give a thumbs up?" I'm not sure. Daddy, do. Are you logged into YouTube or to your Gmail, which would be the same thing? Entitlement reports due diligence let the buyer heard. That's homework. Phil W says, "Flip man, when I guess it means when you get under contract, do entitlement reports due diligence or let buyer do it? Heard do extra homework, which could cost money, could increase your profits when bringing it to a buyer."
Yeah, you gotta to answer Phil's question. That's exactly what we do. That's another way to value add is by doing entitlements, getting approvals for end developers, people that are actually going to go vertical with the houses. That's something we're doing currently. It's not our main bread and butter strategy, but it is something we do on something that's super reasonable for us and attractive to us. But yeah, so I mean, you can basically what an entitlement is basically the paperwork to get approvals for development and zoning and everything of that, and all the civil engineering, the roads, utilities, drainage, all the really nuanced things that developers need to do before they're able to create something that's shovel ready and ready to be developed out and built out. If you think about like passing by a neighborhood being built by D.R. Horton, that land had to be entitled at some point before it could be built on. At some point, it was raw land. You might have purchased it for a good price, but that entitlement increases that value by a lot. And then there's sometimes it could be 10x, sometimes it could be 50x. It really just depends on what you're changing that zoning to. Entitlement is a broad term.
Yeah.
All right. Dennis says, "I need raw land buyers."
You're looking at them right here.
3 of us right here.
Needs to be a great deal. All right. But just to expound on it, it's again, I sort of spoke about it a moment ago. You can't think of it in the terms of houses. Now you can look up and see who's bought land, but like with houses, you can just have fix and flippers or people that build in rental portfolios that buy over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Yes, you could have that with infield lots, but what we're talking about, these are just everyday people that want to put a mobile home on it for recreation, for hunting, investors, developers. It's just an array of people. It's just like, I'm assuming if I'm right on this, you don't even worry about a buyer in reality, in the sense of, do already have a buyer for it. You just know what the market is saying. And if you get it discounted heavily enough, a buyer will appear because of the way you're going to market the deal. Am I right in my thinking?
You got to think of the end consumer for houses. Like a retail client's not going to really want to buy a fixer upper unless they're kind of sophisticated, they're knowledgeable, and they know they can get some equity. They fix it up and refinance or something. But for land, our consumers can be builders, our consumers could be retail clients that just want a ranch outside the city. Like there's a wide range, and that's why it's kind of powerful what we do. We sell to all different types of clients. It's just anyone and everyone that's willing to pay that price.
Boom. All right. Let's do this. We got more questions, but let's go ahead and get into looking at some of these deals here. I think they'll learn a lot with that too. All right. So look at that first one I put up. The first one I actually posted in the private there. It's 32 acres in it's here in Alabama. And I put the link, the land ID link in there.
I got it. So good. That has good frontage. Is it already 2 parcels? Looks like it might be 2 parcels already.
Is that the one? Okay. I thought I put one. Yeah, it's 2 parcels already. Yeah, it's 13. That's 13 and 13. You want to share your screen, or you want me to share mine?
Yeah, I can share my screen.
Okay.
So one thing I already like that I'm looking at, although I haven't ran numbers at all, Let me share my screen here. One thing that I like already about this, wrong land ID. One thing I like about this already is you have Pensacola right here, which is Florida. So that's a pretty dense area. You have a population of people there. And then you have some little pocket towns here as well. Like Foley looks like it has some action going on. But you're probably only 30 minutes to Pensacola. So you're going to have buyers here. So that's something I look at immediately is where's the area? Because that's where your buyers are going to be. You're also probably 45 minutes to an hour to the beach, which is a good selling point as well. Not super familiar with the area. I'm super familiar with Pensacola. But that's one thing I'm looking at. First things first is that's where our consumer clients are going to be.
Well, that was one of the counties. I think a couple of weeks back when I was doing the ratio of sold properties versus listed on Zillow, and it was like it was like just crazy. It's like maybe in the last 12 months, like 1,300 transactions,
Right.
and then like maybe like 1,000 or so that are currently listed, right? Within a 12-month days on Zillow within 12 months or whatever. So
yeah, you could just see the abundance of land out here. Like it's just abundant. And there's trillions of dollars sitting in raw vacant land inside of the United States. And you could just see there's such a massive portion still available. So that's something I really like. I didn't even see this area too. This area looks pretty active as well. But that's something I first look at is again price per acre. So they're asking 400,000 for 32 acres. It's close to like 11,000, 12,000 an acre. But I'm looking at that location. Doesn't look like it's in a flood zone based on the way the land looks. I think that's a paved road. That's something we look at too. A dirt road's not going to hold as much value. It's not going to have as much interest. Paved roads typically have much more interest than your dirt roads. Typically, you're going to have to discount dirt roads a lot more. So that's something to look at too.
So I looked at the subdivision regulations for that part of Alabama, and it's 35 acres or more. So that's 32 acre tracks. So it's already in 2 tracks. So that kind of helps out the deal.
okay. Did you if you can you price it really quick?
Yeah, we can put
I'm
we
looking
can put
right
some
now.
pricing on it too. I can share my screen and kind of show what I look at personally. So I like Redfin. Redfin typically has really good data. I'm guessing this isn't. I don't think Alabama's a non-disclosure state.
No.
So that's good. You can have sold data. So it's up here. So I like to just look at what's available in the marketplace first. It already looks like there's a lot of inventory around, which is a good sign. Typically, when you see active inventory and sold inventory, it's a sign of good health. So we're going to go 10 to 20 acres because these are around 16 acre lots. You have a 12 acre lot here. It's been on the market for 106 days, 18,000 an acre.
I'm estimating right now 18 to 25,000 an acre.
You have one over here for 30 an acre right there. And then I'm just going to look for solds in the last. Let's check out this most recent one. So it looks like this one was on a dirt road. You can see it. This one sold 12 acres for 200,000. That's around 17,000 an acre. And I want to find a couple more in the last 6 months. Let's see if there's anything else. It's right here too. It's a 10 acre lot for essentially 25,000 an acre, but sold for 270. Let's go to the last year. Trying to find a couple more. So you're probably in that $17,000 to $20,000 an acre range, and they're asking around 11 or 12. So you still have some price arbitrage there to be able to potentially make some money. Are they firm on price? Did you talk to him about price?
What did he say on that?
They're asking 12.5 an acre.
Yeah, he said that's his desired price. So he didn't indicate that it was firm. So
This one has some margin, I think, for sure. I mean, if you think about it, at the minimum, I'm guessing 18,000 is what I see, and Cal's right there as well. 6,000 an acre times 32 acres is 180 grand. It's not a bad day.
wow.
So what Daniel did there was he took the difference between what they're asking and what we think it could sell for. So 12 to 18,000 an acre. So he just times that by the potential profit margin. I'd still personally hit them lower to see how much room they have. I'd hit them low with a quick close, and then if you kind of can't get them down, you can kind of do it a medium offer where you're somewhere in between the two with a medium style close, like maybe a 60-day close, and then you can give them full price maybe for like 90-day close, maybe 100, maybe 4 months, 120-day close, something around there. So it's kind of like a teetering scale because this is kind of in that ballpark where you're typically not going to be able to get a large discount a lot of the times, and typically not a large amount of time to close. Typically, that's when you're teetering up towards the $700,000 to $1 million plus range. It's kind of when you're seeing people are willing to hold out a little bit longer on closing time and willing to negotiate a little bit more.
All right, cool.
It's a deal though. It's definitely
yeah, it looks good so far.
Okay. All right, man. Wow. Okay, good. All right.
And it's a red state, right?
Yeah, yes. Oh, talking about Alabama? Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. That's what we look for.
Okay.
With good activity and margin. That's really what we're looking for.
Okay, boom. We're all over that one then. All right. Look at the one 400 acres. Who wants to share their screen?
Somerville. I just looked at one over here. This is by College Station, no? Yep. I looked at one right next to this one the other day. I already know that things sell for around 20 an acre over here for 10-acre lots. They're asking 10 an acre. It has one side of frontage.
A lot of flood, still in flood though, right?
Let me check out the legend.
Yeah, you want to share your screen. Let them see what you're doing.
Gotcha. Yeah, so I just looked at one over here the other day. This one's a little deep. You might have to do larger lots, like 25-acre lots. And you got you have some room because we're doing larger lots anyway. So this should be fine. There is a structure on it. I'd be curious to know what that structure is. Maybe just like a barn or like a horse or something like that. This looks like an oil well, maybe. So you got pipelines going. Oh, that's a lot of pipelines.
Let me see. Oh yeah.
So you have a lot of pipelines. You're gonna have a lot of setbacks from that. A lot of restrictions on what you can do around those. I mean, that's probably why they built within this range. Even this one looks a little close to that pipeline. And yeah, so I'm guaranteeing that's an oil well. Not a deal killer unless they were everywhere, but I mean the pipelines are pretty abundant, so that's definitely a factor to take into place.
It makes it harder to sell. That's the caveat.
We just had one where there's a giant oil well in the back, and it was really, really hard to move. It was very unattractive. So that's something we look at too. You're probably gonna have to do, if I had to guess, 20 to 25-acre lots minimum, but maybe a little bit larger. 25s are probably where you're at. Just by looking at it, not drawing it out. I think they're asking what, 10 an acre essentially. Yeah. I try to get closer to maybe half of that. just because you have those pipelines running through it. You have to do larger lots. So ideally, your price range that you kind of want to be at and under for a selling point is typically 250,000 and less. We're kind of seeing it more down towards that $200,000 range, which is moving really well. So I'd say doing 25-acre lots at 10 to 10-ish an acre, which is 250, would be a pretty good price point to kind of move things at.
So you want to resell at what amount?
Probably what he's asking. So
Okay.
get it for 2, sell it for 4. Maybe a little bit more. It is a great area. This College Station is pretty active. You have a lot going on over here. That's where Texas A&M is.
Hey Kyle, I got comps and for about 15 an acre
For larger lots.
for larger lots.
That's pretty good for larger lots. Yeah, 10s you're around 18 to 20 over here. Larger lots, 15 is pretty solid. So that's times 25. That's 375,000 for a 25-acre lot. I was being conservative just to be on that 250 price point.
Yeah.
One thing that we do is we'll have either someone on our team or us personally will put out something called ghost ads on Facebook, and basically it's just like a blank Facebook Marketplace ad, and it just kind of we put like a general Google Maps Street View photo, and then maybe a couple other random land photos that have no correlation with the property but kind of look similar. We'll put out the price point that we're selling it for, the acreage, the details, utilities, frontage, road type, and we'll kind of feel out the marketplace if that's an attractive price point. So the 375, maybe throw out 25-acre lots at 375 on the Facebook Marketplace ad and see how many people message you. So if you get 10, 15, 20 hits overnight, you're probably in a pretty good price point for the area. Or if you don't get anything, you're probably a little bit high, and then you can kind of play with it and kind of see what something might trade for in the area without locking it up.
And that also goes out to what obviously buyers. That's like you're sort of building a buyer's pool at the same time.
So like, let's say you have 45 people hit you up overnight, and then you're like, dang, this is a deal. You might lock it up, and you might hit up all 45 people. You might pull 2-3 buyers out of that 45 people. So you might have already pre-marketed it essentially. I know some people in the house game, they have like their VIP buyers, and before they even lock something up, they might show their VIP buyer like, hey, this is the house, this is the details, this is what needs to be done. If I sold it to you at XYZ price, would you be interested? Yeah, that's essentially what we're doing with the ghost ads, except we can't falsely market a property that we don't have equitable interest in. That's illegal. So that's essentially what we're doing, is kind of pre-marketing it. Anything to add to that, Daniel?
No, I think this one's a little bit harder because it is so deep. We're having to get larger parcels, which raises the price point, which makes it unattractive. So this is a little bit harder. The first one's definitely a better deal.
Okay. All right. Let's look at that 109. I think it's total like 139, actually, something like that, but it's 2 parcels.
The one in Martindale?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. So it's a 30-acre parcel and a 109-acre parcel. There's the screen again.
Purchase property asking 30-acre.
Got 2 sides of frontage, 3 sides of frontage, 2 FM roads, 1 like county road. Probably have a little bit of flood going through it.
You sharing? My bad.
Can you see?
Yeah, I got it. It's up now. It's up now.
Oh, this has a decent amount of flood right here.
That's a lot of flood.
It's a lot of flood. And it's on our best roads. These are paved. The FM roads are always paved. So that's a lot of flood. Probably not much you could do with this one unless you get it like super, super, super cheap. But if I was to look at this right off the bat, I'd probably pass on it and move on to the next one.
Okay. All right.
There's
And
too much flood on that
Yeah.
one.
okay.
If the flood was like, let's say there was, it was right towards the back and there was still a ton of build site. Like there's one that we're looking at that has a ton of flood that we're negotiating and potentially locking up. But there's still build sites for every single lot, and it doesn't take up the complete frontage.
Okay. All right. And we got that 56.
Okay. All right, so right off the bat, this one, 56 acres in Kyle, they're asking 1.5, so that's like 25 an acre.
25 acre. Yeah.
Give or take 25, 27 an acre.
Try Austin. I'm familiar with the area. It's in between
sure.
Austin and San Antonio.
Yeah, share your screen.
All right. I don't have the link for this one.
I didn't put one. My bad. Hold on a second.
But this is definitely some sort of entitlement value add play, just based on the shape, location. It looks like they're within that city limits, so you probably have water and sewer availability
and frontage.
Yeah. So something like that, you're typically looking at trying to get an excessively long timeline, at least 12 months, or ideally, you can make it with the seller contingent on approvals of entitlements. And the reason behind that is you have to dump a lot of capital into entitlement and engineering, and the risk is insanely high compared to just a 10-acre subdivide or buying and selling individual lots.
Oh yeah, and I'm sorry, I didn't even mean to include that one because it all of that's flood zone, like all of it. It looks like it was a new subject, but that entire parcel is flood zone. So I sent that one in error. It was another one I was going to say.
It also depends on flood zone. That's a good point. So if you're in the 100-year, that's typically your worst flood. If you're in the 500-year, you still kind of have some ability to work with it. Flood zone is able to be mitigated, but again, with 10-acre subdivides, we're just looking at cutting it up, surveying it out, maybe adding some land clearing or culverts or some minor improvements, but we're not looking to mitigate that flood or spend the time and the risk on doing that. It's a process that's named mainly for developmental plays. We have one right now where we're doing an entitlement where the property has been in a flood zone since 1977, but FEMA hasn't updated the map since 1977. So there are ways around it, but it's not something we look to do all the time. It's not worth the time or the risk.
All right. I'm putting another one in here. I'm just going to put the land ID link there.
All right.
5 acres. So this is going to be, there's a couple ways you can do these types of deals. So these types of deals, let me share my screen. The best and most efficient way to do these types of deals is to just buy low, sell high.
Mm-hmm.
The second way is you can create cash flow off the land. So let's say you got seller financing for 5 to 10 plus years, ideally at least 5, 0% interest, principal payments only, and you essentially wrap this in a second position. That's a way you can create cash flow for 5 plus years on just a smaller parcel. Obviously, you still need to have some sort of, you need to have it close to retail or slightly below retail, so you can kind of sell it and upcharge it at a higher price and interest rate. But that's something to look at too. Is trying to make cash flow. Looks like it's a good area. You have pretty large town over here. This is in Missouri.
No, it's in Mississippi, Hattiesburg. And a lot of, from my understanding, with a land broker there, agent, land specialist, a lot of these counties you can sub down to a 1 acre with just a survey. Then this
surprises me because typically it becomes almost like an environmental hazard and drainage and all this. So many nuances behind putting something into smaller parcels. But if that's true, and that could be a market you could really tap into in arbitrage. But But something I want to look at first is just kind of what it's worth as is.
Okay, let's see what we got. Oh, Mississippi is non-disclosure. My bad.
That's all right. There's still ways to kind of, it's actually a good learning point because there's still ways to kind of
The back door.
play with that and kind of guesstimate how much things can sell for. And also, I'm going to look 4 to 10 acres, try to find some things in between. So this is the last year. This is June, 4-acre lot, 12,000 an acre. What were they asking on this one?
Oh, he wants to make an offer.
He just wants an offer.
Yeah.
Well, this was 4 acres. It went pending in 1 day. So my thought process is it probably sold for what it was listed for, but you can also use Propelio. Sometimes it'll pop up, sometimes it won't.
I think it was in Forest, Mississippi. It was down there. It was in the listing.
Let's see.
So I looked up the rules, Ty.
Uh-huh.
It says that you can do 1 acre subdivision if it's for a family, but generally if you're not doing for family, it has to be 35 acres or more.
This might be it right here. So sometimes it'll have if this is the right parcel, sometimes this goes a 1 acre parcel. But if you can find it in Propelio, I've been submitting for feature requests. I'm trying to look it up by owner name and all these different things. But you can typically see non-disclosure data on Propelio, which is nice. But again, what I'm looking at is your days on market, because it tells you, like this closed in 2 weeks after it went pending in 1 day. And that was essentially 12,000 an acre. So that tells me that it closed pretty dang close to what it was listed for. Here's another one that looks a little funky. Maybe even landlocked or some sort of easement access in the back. That was 6,000 an acre. I don't even want to use that as a comp.
Yeah.
That looks like a subdivision style, estate style. I don't even want to look at that. And then what's available? So you got 6 acres for 97,000. Looks like they did a subdivide of some sort, or if it was just like that.
It looks like they subdivided that.
Yeah, so it's about 6 acres for 16,000 an acre. Only 8 days on market right now, so you kind of can't tell. That's decent. This is 8 acres for 60,000. 7,500 an acre, 46 days on market. Has pipeline right away, so that's pretty unattractive. This is one I'd probably put out. I mean, it looks like.
So you do a ghost ad on this?
Yeah, definitely ghost ads on this one. Kind of feel out the marketplace, because this one we had the comp for 12,000 an acre, but that could have been a little bit better of an area. Could have had utilities hooked up already, which sometimes it'll tell you.
Yeah, it's kind of, you do the ghost ad, or you kind of just make a lowball offer, because if you know worst case scenario it's worth 50 grand, if you get it for 20, you're in the money, or 10,
Okay.
Yeah, like I kind of go off this comp. So like, if it's sold for 12,000 an acre, I'd say maybe we shoot for somewhere in that range, 10 to 12,000 an acre, undervalue it a little bit. But again, just trying to play with it a little bit. Like even this looks like it had an easement going through. It looks like probably an electric easement. Access off this road though. And there's it looks like a driveway is going through it too. Yeah. So that was ugly, and that sold for 12,000 an acre pretty rapidly. So that's something to look at too. So I put out some feelers, make a low ball offer, maybe around, if it's 5 acres, maybe hit them at 30, 25, 20, somewhere around that ballpark, just to start the conversation and see what they're at least open to. And then, if they say yes, then, you can put a go stat at and just put it double the price, triple the price, and kind of see where you're at.
Mm.
Yeah, you'd want to get that one. You'd want to get that one for probably 20 to 30-ish, and then you'd probably want to sell it for 50 to 60-ish.
Okay. All right. Okay. Boom. All right. I guess the first one was the big winner though, for sure, huh?
Yeah, first one was the winner today.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So he wants that 400. Obviously, we can try to get him to shave off some of it, but that looks like that will work regardless, right?
Yeah. With the time,
something like that, I'd probably offer like 300 with a quick close, like a week or two, like because sometimes they bite on that. Sometimes they bite on that. If you can do like a week close, because like, hey, I can give you, like, no, I want 400. Well, 400 is going to be 4 months then.
Okay. All right. Boom. All right. I know you got a couple more minutes, Daniel. Let's see what we got in here. So how do I? What's Iona? I think I'm saying that correctly. How do I find lands? She said. What am I looking for in value? Broad question. A lot of the same methods that you'll use to find houses, you can use land, but you do at least have to identify what you want to target. What are you guys suggesting on that?
I think if you're just starting out, I think the small parcels are going to be good. You can definitely, if you talk to enough sellers, you're going to find a price arbitrage. So it's going to be pulling lists. It's going to be hitting stuff on MLS. It's going to be hitting driving for dollars, just like you do with houses. You're going to see those all around. And generally, I think it's a good place to start. There's a lot of people that do really, really well very quickly off of that method. Once you kind of understand the basics, you can kind of step up your game and go after larger parcels. But I definitely recommend starting 100,000 or less valuations.
Yeah. For example, like that 5 acre lot we just looked at, something like that. You make enough offers with a quick close and 50% of value, you're going to start hitting. You're going to find people. Another way to market is to reach out to local agents, see if they have anything off market, pocket listings. That stuff works really, really well. And they could have buyers too. So it's something that, you might work with one agent that has sellers and then one agent that has buyers, and you kind of mesh them together. And, it's a beautiful thing. And that's really what we're doing right now with a lot of the changes in NAR. We're seeing a lot more buyers agent coming out trying to help us find property to buy.
All right. Someone mentioned I own the same person talking about they're in Houston, land to flip there. Now that's within a city, so it's not going to be large parcels in most cases. You're talking infill lots, and I know Kyle, we just got a deal.
We just got a deal in El Campo, which is southwest Houston.
About an hour, hour outside of Houston.
And we're doing a really good thing there. So I think if you look, I think we've done some deals like North Houston too, outside the city. So there's plenty of opportunity there.
Oh yeah, no, definitely in the metro.
Wharton County is where that El Campo one is. Still some good pricing out there, and still relatively close to the city. So that's kind of where we're looking right now for targeting that Houston area. But we're looking anywhere in Texas that has good activity. I mean, we have stuff everywhere.
We did buy another deal earlier this week too. I can show you guys the information on that. There we go. Kyle actually found this one.
This one, yeah, I found right off the MLS.
So Kyle found this one right off the MLS, 38 acres for $285. It was one lot, and we got this for $285. I think we contracted it for like 4 months, but I think we just closed it out in 2, I believe. But 285, 38 acres. I think it's like 8,000 an acre, something like that. And then we sold off 16 acres for 192, which is like 12,000 an acre.
Yep. So got it for 7,500. Sold one parcel already, or 16 acres of it for 12,000 an acre. And then essentially we had just had 2 other lots that we can sell around the same price or maybe a little bit higher. And now we can have the power to put it on the MLS. It's a really good one.
Yep. And that's the deal Cal found on the MLS.
We just surveyed that one out. No one ever went to go see it. Literally just hired someone to go
we did drones, right?
We did drone photos from some random guy on the internet. Got drone photos. Shout out Waco drone guy. And then just hired a surveyor, local guy in the city, one of the only ones out there. Did the work efficiently, was super cheap. I think all in on the surveys were $1,500. Staked it out.
We did pay the water line too.
Yeah, we did. So that area is tough with water, and that was something I knew from the very start. So I knew if we had water, it'd be a much more attractive deal. And that seems to be the case. All the comps and all the active stuff do not have water. Water availability on a water line is pretty tough out there, and water well quality is very poor if they have any at all.
Nice.
Yes, that one I think we're estimating close to 200 grand profit on that deal. A little 30-acre deal.
Okay. I don't see any more actual questions. And guys, if you could share how they could reach out to you all also, your content.
Absolutely. Yeah, we just launched our HiveMind Invest. So if you go to hivemindinvest.com, there's a place to send deals. There's a little dollar course education there. There's a lot of our resources that we're providing out to the marketplace. So hivemindinvest.com.
Boom. All right. So guys, those deals that we were just evaluating, they came through lead generation through the AI that I've been talking about for the last couple of weeks or whatever. It ain't been 2 weeks. It's been just a week. And we just ran just a small test on it. So like we may have 1 or 2 deals out of that. One of them may be a home run, even at the asking price. So we'll see. We'll keep you updated on it. I was looking at my notes. He said it was 38 acres. I didn't see but that 32 there, but I'll figure that out later. So anyway, guys, I really appreciate you all putting this together. Again, I think this is helping a lot of people. And at the end of the day, you still got to take action. We could talk to whatever color you want us to be in the face, but you got to take action. It's a different challenge. It's a different animal, but I'm no smarter than you are. They may be, but I know I'm not. And I made some bread with it. So that's why I'm putting it out there. Would love to work with you guys out there. So again, somebody asked a question that we might want to answer. Have you guys had any luck finding deals in Southern California?
So California as a whole, it has higher price valuations. I did send a contract out a few months ago for some property in California, but everybody knows what they have, and it's really hard to get a deal when people know what they have. And that's my 2 cents. Not that I'm not afraid to look at a deal in California. It's just a lot of people in California know what they have, and they're not going to let it go for cheap. And they're going to. It's just you're fighting uphill. So this Missouri, Alabama, Texas, Florida, you're going to find a lot easier transactions out there than, in my opinion, in California and places like Phoenix and Arizona. Because Arizona, you're either going to be in a high-priced area, you're going to be in the desert. So it's really hard to find good land deals there. Not that they're impossible; it's just going to be hard. So I would rather swim in a blue ocean than in a pond, in a small pond. So you got to make sure you understand what's worth the effort and what's worth the time, and where you're best spending that time.
Boom. Okay. All right. Appreciate the guys sharing their time with us. You can post your questions in the comment section of the replay here, and get them answered. So again, appreciate it, guys. And as I always like to say, we'll see you guys on the FLIP SIBE.
flip man, flip man. It's the flip man, flip man, flip man. You want some money in your hand? Flipping houses without credit or your cash. Yeah,